Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner. You're listening to the B'nai Zion Corner. Last week on the show, we had Joyce Saad, who was one of the incredible Fall Forward Event Committee women who put together a very memorable event in the summer home of Sheila and Jack Sit in Deal, New Jersey. On behalf of B'nai Zion, Joyce and the whole committee have a lot of love for the organization, passion, and we can't wait to have Joyce back on the show and hear about some of the other events that they'll be planning for next summer. Can't believe the summer is almost over. Tonight, on the show, we have with us once again the president of the B'nai Zion, Steve Savitsky. Steve, good to have you back. Good to see you in Lido Beach. You spoke wonderfully the other week at the Lido Beach Synagogue.
Thank you so much. It was great seeing you and your family, and what a beautiful community out there. Really, really a lovely community, and nice young rabbi and Rebbitzin, and I think there's going to be a nice future for that community. It's got a lot of good things going for it. It's a lot more than just a summer community. It's really, really lovely, really, really pretty.
And they're poised for growth year-round, so maybe we'll soon have a B'nai Zion chapter there.
Absolutely. That'll be the real market, whether it's really on the rise, okay?
Now, I know, Steve, that this time of year, most everyone has returned home. Well, most people have returned home for wherever they might have been this summer on vacation and getting ready for the high holidays. What's happening at B'nai Zion, both here and in the Holy Land, in Israel?
Well, listen, like everybody else, the summer is over, as you said, hard to believe, and that means that a lot of good things are going on. I mean, during one of our programs I know you know about is Ahava Village, which is, has about 250 young men and women, ages 6 through 18, who have to come to our place because many of them live in families that unfortunately are not all that safe, and they live with us and they grow up in our facility. But during the summertime, we try to send some of them to camp if it's possible. We try to do what we can because they don't have school. I mean, some of them do stay, but now that the Hagim come, it's kind of a different approach. We like to put them, those who can go back, safe, who can go back to their families. We encourage them to go back for the Hagim to their natural families. And for others, we also have a very special foster care program where we actually have foster parents who we pay, who take them in for the Hagim to give them a little bit of a feeling of what it's like. And so, there's a lot of activity going on in the Ahava Village right now, now that school is going to be starting and the Hagim upon us. And in the David Yellen College, it's a new year with new students and a time for orientation, and a lot is going on there also. I mean, they're really the largest and maybe the most important, we think, teaching college in all of Israel where people go to get their training. So every year, new programs start and new opportunities abound. In our Ma'ale Adumim program, we have a lot of seniors that we deal with, and we have programs on many of them Holocaust survivors, and we try to get them gift baskets, do other things for them to give them the dignity that they really deserve, especially around this time of the year. And in our Yad Leah program, we make sure we get a lot of clothing that we sent out to Israel so that they could have for the Hagim. The kids could have, and the adults could have clothing that is befitting them for the Yom Tov, et cetera, et cetera. And in our B'nai Zion Medical Center, of course, a lot of things are going on, but I guess it's a time of year for reflection, and we deal with patients who need definitely a refuah, so we think about them a lot during this time of year. So a lot is going on. A lot of new things that are going on, a lot of transitional things, and it's exciting. It's always exciting to begin anew.
That it certainly is, and as you pointed out, there's certainly a lot going on with B'nai Zion. Every one of the B'nai Zion projects in Israel have an important role, and now especially at this time of year, I think it's important for us to find new ways to help anyone in Israel who can use a helping hand.
Yeah, it's a polarizing time. Whenever the Chagim come, it's always a time when those who have can spend and do things and enjoy the Chag, and those who don't, unfortunately, are left by the wayside. So I think this is what makes the Jewish people great. We just have a heart. We care about people, and I think to me that's always the most inspiring thing about the Jewish nation, that you can have somebody that you don't know, and yet at the same time you can care about them. It's really interesting to me. I don't know whether it exists in any other group. I really don't think so. I remember one time going to meet with a group of young people. I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and they had just come off their economic recession. And I met with these teenagers, and I said to them, it's interesting that I don't know who you are. I said, but I contributed, and a lot of my friends contributed last year when you had your economic recession to try to see what we can do to help. And I said, isn't that interesting? I don't know you, you don't know me, and yet I care about you. And they were touched. That's really what it's all about. I think that's what we're about in B'nai Zion, that, we just care a lot and try to do whatever we can to help the people in Israel and the Jewish community.
That's so important. So let's talk about the future plans, because as we begin a new year, we look ahead. So let's look ahead. What is B'nai Zion doing now that will strengthen the future of the thousands of Israelis that depend on the organization? What's new in the offing?
Well, look, finally, we hope this year we're finally going to get the underground emergency room at our B'nai Zion Medical Center finished. They actually started to break ground. We've raised a lot of money, but not enough, and the government is going to be helping us. But we've got to do it. I mean, just read the news, see what's going on today in Lebanon, and you read about the 100,000 rockets that Hezbollah has, etc. And you go to that hospital and you see they're in the firing line. That's exactly where they are. They were hit last time, and you can't have a hospital with 500 patients having to move their patients from the north side to the south side every time you hear a siren. It's intolerable. And so building that underground center is probably the most important thing for us. At least we know that the people will be safe, God forbid if they need it. So that is the number one priority. But then we're also at the same time building a therapy room in the Ahava village, a special room for all kind of psychological, emotional, young men and women who need it, in addition to other things that we're constantly building to make that a better place. And also we're expanding our senior center in the Yuval Lin Senior Center at the Ma'ale Adumim. Those are three projects that are right off the top. I think, strike my fancy, and I think that when I look at Yad Leah, I mean, we want to open up even new facilities and go to new places, and the program makes sense. I mean, last year we were able to have clothing drives in New York, New Jersey area. We had some out in Los Angeles under the generosity of our chairman of the board, George Schaefer, and his wife, Irina. They were so generous in helping us put this together, which is great. But now we want to do it in other cities. You think about the amount of clothing. I just look at I look at my house, and I look at all the closets we have, and I say to myself, where do we get all this clothing from? It's just ridiculous. I mean, and yet, there are people out there who really need it. So those are some of the goals that that we're setting for this year.
But you want to hear something crazy, Steve? You mentioned about Yad Leah giving away clothing. Do you know that it's very hard to give away clothing? If you call up most Jewish organizations, they will not come and pick up clothing from you.
Yep.
That's unique about Yad Leah, that they come and pick it up. It has to be
we have clothing drives in the community. We have drop-off points. People come, they drop it off, and then we go to we have a warehouse. We sort through all the clothing that we get. Probably a third of it, unfortunately, doesn't make it, and then the rest gets sent over in Lyft, and when it gets to Israel, it gets distributed to any one of the 22 centers that are there, and it's really something really worthwhile to see, because it's done with dignity. It's really done with dignity, and we're so proud that we've adopted them as one of our projects. They're tremendous work that they do.
You gave us a nice overview about some of the things B'nai Zion is doing and going to be doing for this coming year. As president of the organization, Steve Savitsky is our guest. You must be very proud of the work that B'nai Zion is doing on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely, no question about it. I get a lot of nachas from it, and I just think that it's a great organization without an agenda. And unfortunately, in today's world, most organizations have an agenda, whatever it might be, whether it's a social, psychological, religious, political orientation. We don't have an agenda. We're pure chesed. That's what we are, and we could unite all people, no matter who you are, no matter what your persuasion is. If you love Israel, you love the people in Israel, you want to help, you can help us. And I really would strongly encourage anybody who really says, hey, I'd love to get involved, I'd love to contribute, I'd love to do something, let me find out more. The person to really call is Rebecca Harari, someone you know well, a dynamic, incredible woman.
Does great work. Great work.
Her phone number is 646-485-7999, 646-485-7999, Rebecca Harari, and she'll be happy to help you in any questions you might have. What a great time before the holidays to pick up a project and do something really worthwhile.
Make it more meaningful for the new year. Steve, if any of our listeners would like to visit one of the B'nai Zion projects in Israel that you spoke about, how can they do so?
Well, first of all, let them call Rebecca. Rebecca will make arrangements. But we have two phenomenal programs that we're doing in December 2nd to the 9th. We have a Hanukkah mission. It'll be led by Rabbi Eli Abadi. Everyone knows him. He's an unbelievable person, a rabbi, a doctor, a Renaissance person. And he's going to be leading our mission to Israel, God willing. Rebecca will be on that mission. Cheryl Beer will be on it. I will be on, God willing, also. And then in May, we have our Yom HaAtzmaut mission. Once again, another thing which I think would be great. But all you have to do is just really call Rebecca and, tell her you want to get involved, you want to find out about the projects. You're going to be in Israel. What do they look like? We'd love to hear that. Rebecca Harari, 646-485-7999. So really, that's really what we're about, Zev.
No, amazing. So I want to thank you for the work that you're doing, and we're speaking, of course, to the president of B'nai Zion, Steve Savitsky. I want to thank you for your beautiful message that you have to encourage people to start the New Year's right, and for once again enlightening us about all what's happening in B'nai Zion. And I want
Thank you.
And I want to tell everybody that usually B'nai Zion Corner's on every Tuesday night, but due to the holidays, and we seem like a whole bunch of Tuesday nights were being preempted because of Yontif, so the next B'nai Zion Corner will be, God willing, Tuesday night, October 9th, right after the holidays.
Correct.
I want to wish you, Steve Stavitsky, I want to wish you and your family a happy, healthy, joyous New Year, continuous success in all your endeavors. You're involved with many different groups, but I know B'nai Zion has a very special place in your heart, so thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely, and thank you, Zev, for everything you do. Really appreciate it, okay? Take care.
Shana Tova.
Be well.
And you've been listening to the B'nai Zion Corner. We're going to be right back.